As someone who's always been passionate about environmental issues, I've been following the development of hydrogen cars with great interest. These vehicles, powered by a fuel cell that converts hydrogen into electricity, have been touted by many as the future of sustainable transportation. But are hydrogen cars really the answer to our climate problems? Let's take a closer look. What are hydrogen cars? Hydrogen cars, also known as fuel cell vehicles, are a type of electric vehicle that use hydrogen as their fuel source. They work by converting hydrogen gas into electricity through a process called electrolysis. The process of electrolysis involves passing an electric current through water to split it into hydrogen and oxygen. The hydrogen gas is then stored in high-pressure tanks in the car, while the oxygen is released into the atmosphere. When the hydrogen gas is fed into the fuel cell, it reacts with oxygen from the air to produce electricity, water, and heat. The electricity produced by the fuel cell is then used to power the car's electric motor, which drives the wheels. Because the electricity is produced on board, hydrogen cars don't need to be plugged in like electric cars do. Instead, they can be refueled in a matter of minutes, just like a traditional gasoline-powered car. Are hydrogen cars safe? One of the biggest concerns that people have about hydrogen cars is whether or not they're safe. After all, hydrogen is a highly flammable gas, and the idea of driving around with a tank full of it can be a bit intimidating. However, it's important to understand that hydrogen cars are designed with safety in mind. The tanks that hold the hydrogen gas are extremely strong and are made to withstand impacts and other stresses that could cause a rupture. In addition, the tanks are designed with multiple layers of protection to prevent leak and ruptures. The tanks are typically made from a combination of carbon fiber and high-strength aluminum, which makes them both lightweight and durable. Another important safety feature of hydrogen cars is that the hydrogen gas is stored in a low-pressure state. This means that even if the tank were to rupture, the gas would not explode or ignite. Instead, it would simply vent out harmlessly. The fuel cell stack that converts hydrogen gas into electricity is also designed with safety in mind. The stack is typically housed in a protective enclosure to prevent damage from impacts or other hazards. Overall, the safety of hydrogen cars is a top priority for automakers and regulatory agencies. In fact, hydrogen cars undergo rigorous safety testing and certification before they can be sold to the public. Of course, like any technology, there's always a small risk of accidents or malfunctions. However, the safety features built into hydrogen cars are designed to minimize this risk as much as possible. In addition, hydrogen fueling stations are also designed with safety in mind. The stations typically use sensors and other monitoring equipment to detect any leaks or other potential hazards. In the unlikely event of a leak or other issues, the station can quickly shut down and isolate the affected area to prevent any harm to people or property. Pros and cons of hydrogen cars. First, let's talk about the pros of hydrogen cars. Zero emissions. Hydrogen cars produce no emissions other than water vapor, making them an ideal option for environmentally conscious consumers. The lack of emissions means that they don't contribute to air pollution or climate change. In addition, hydrogen fuel cell vehicles emit less noise pollution compared to gasoline-powered vehicles, making them more comfortable for both drivers and pedestrians. Abundant, sustainable, and renewable fuel. Hydrogen is one of the most abundant elements on Earth, and it can be produced using a variety of renewable energy sources, such as solar, wind, or hydroelectric power. This means that hydrogen cars have the potential to be completely sustainable, unlike traditional cars that rely on finite reserves of fossil fuels. Hydrogen fuel production can also be done on-site, allowing for greater energy independence and security. Longer range than electric cars. Hydrogen cars offer a longer driving range compared to electric cars. This is because hydrogen fuel cells can generate electricity directly from hydrogen, allowing for a much longer drive range than electric batteries. This makes them more practical for long-distance travel and could potentially make them a more attractive option for consumers who frequently take long trips. Quick and easy refueling. Hydrogen cars can be refueled in just a few minutes, making them convenient for consumers who don't have the time or patience to wait for electric cars to charge. Unlike electric cars, which require longer charging times and specialized charging infrastructure, hydrogen fueling stations can be installed in existing gas stations with minimal modifications. Additionally, hydrogen fueling stations can be installed in remote areas, providing greater access to fuel for long-distance travel. Better performance and efficiency than gasoline cars. Hydrogen fuel cell vehicles are highly efficient and offer better performance compared to traditional gasoline-powered cars. Hydrogen fuel cells generate electricity from a chemical reaction between hydrogen and oxygen, producing only water vapor as a waste. This process allows for greater energy conversion efficiency compared to traditional combustion engines, which lose a significant amount of energy as heat. Hydrogen fuel cell vehicles also offer a smoother and quieter driving experience compared to the gasoline-powered cars, making for a more comfortable ride. Quick and smooth driving experience. Hydrogen cars are significantly quieter compared to gasoline-powered cars. This is because the electric motors used in hydrogen cars are much quieter compared to combustion engines. Additionally, hydrogen fuel cell technology allows for smoother acceleration and deceleration, resulting in a more comfortable and enjoyable driving experience. The lack of engine noise also allows for better acoustics, making it easier to enjoy the car's sound system and have conversations with passengers. But as with any new technology, there are also downsides to hydrogen cars that need to be considered. Let's discuss them too. Lack of infrastructure. One of the biggest challenges is the lack of infrastructure for hydrogen fueling. Currently, there are only a handful of hydrogen fueling stations in the United States, making it difficult for drivers to refuel their cars. This means that even if you buy a hydrogen car, you may not be able to find a fueling station nearby, which could limit your ability to use the vehicle. Pricey technology. In addition, hydrogen cars are currently more expensive than traditional gasoline-powered cars or even electric vehicles. This is partly due to the high cost of producing hydrogen fuel cells, as well as the lack of economies of scale that come with mass production. As a result, hydrogen cars are currently only available to a limited market of early adopters who are willing to pay a premium for the technology. Safety concerns. Lastly, there are some concerns about the safety of hydrogen fuel. While hydrogen is a relatively safe fuel, it is highly flammable and can be explosive under certain conditions. This means that there are strict safety protocols that need to be followed when storing and handling hydrogen fuel, which could make it more difficult and expensive to set up hydrogen fueling stations. So, are hydrogen cars the future? While they certainly have the potential to play a significant role in a more sustainable transportation system, there are still some hurdles that need to be overcome before they can become mainstream. The lack of infrastructure for hydrogen fueling, the high cost of fuel cells, and the concerns about safety are all issues that need to be addressed if hydrogen cars are going to become a viable option for everyday drivers. That being said, I still believe that hydrogen cars have a lot of potential. As technology advances and production costs come down, we may see more and more hydrogen fueling stations popping up around the country. In addition, the longer driving range of hydrogen cars could make them a more attractive option for consumers who are looking for a sustainable alternative to traditional gasoline-powered cars. And with the abundance of hydrogen on Earth and the potential for renewable energy sources to produce it, hydrogen cars could be an important part of a more sustainable future. Ultimately, the decision about whether or not to invest in a hydrogen car comes down to your personal priorities and needs. If you value sustainability and are willing to pay a premium for a vehicle that emits zero emissions, then a hydrogen car could be a great choice for you. But if you prioritize affordability and convenience, then you may want to consider other options. In any case, I believe that hydrogen cars are an exciting development in the world of sustainable transportation, and I look forward to seeing how they continue to evolve in the coming years. With more investment in infrastructure and technology, I believe that hydrogen cars have the potential to be a key part of a more sustainable transportation system. That's it, folks. I hope you enjoyed watching the video. Don't forget to like and share the video. We'll meet you in another video soon. Bye-bye and take care.